Seeing as it's the Christmas period, I thought I'd give you guys a load of free lessons leading up to the day itself, starting with this Love is a Long Road by Tom Petty, drummed by Kim Keltner, that really cool song taken from the new GTA 6 trailer. A great song for beginners. This is a very simple song with a very simple structure. Jim is famous for that. His playing has always been understated. He's he makes very mature musical choices. His ego is never in question when he plays songs. He really does sort of let the vocals and the rest of the band and whoever he's performing for sort of shine. But he gives just enough little amount of spice to make it interesting and fun to play along to as well. So we got the intro, and the drums come in after about 16 seconds after that cool synth intro. And we're simply playing these stabs between the snare drum, bass drum and crash cymbal. It's 2-bar phrase. We've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So that second bar there, where we got the stabs on the ands of 1 and the and of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So be aware of that that's not 1 and 2, that's the and. If you're playing along to the music, then that should be no problem for you. You don't really have to count. Da, da, da. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And if you want to use extra crash cymbals, great. You can do a little bit of variation there. That 2-bar phrase gets repeated 4 times. But the last bar of the intro, we get the 2 offbeat stabs, 1 and 2 and then we get simply floor tom and snare drum, starting on the and of beat 3 and 4 and into a crash for verse 1. So that let's do the last 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So another little idea starting on the and of something, this time the and of 3 and 4 and the last 3/8 notes of that bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 into our first verse. And as you heard, it's a really simple drum beat, probably the most basic drum beat you can play. It's simply 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 8 notes on the hi-hat, bass drum on 1 and 3, snare drum on 2 and 4, your bread and butter drum beat. That gets played 8 times for the verse, no extra crash cymbals being played halfway through. Then we go into pre-chorus 1, but before I do, let me now play for you the intro and verse 1 up to speed, without the microphone so you can hear just the drums. Here we go. So pre-chorus 1 is just 4 bars long. We've got a crash cymbal every 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're into our first chorus, chorus 1, which, you probably guessed it, 8 bars long of that drum beat. But starting halfway through the line, on bar 5, we get another crash cymbal. So every 4 bars a crash cymbal. And then the very last bar, very simple idea, we get the crash cymbal on beat 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then floor tom and snare drum accenting that beat on beat 4 at the end of the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we're into verse 2. And notice how he goes into verse 2 without the use of the crash cymbals. That's interesting in its own right. It's that he doesn't always have to play the crash cymbal starting a new section, which most drummers probably would. So very simple. The last two bars of chorus 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Into verse 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So verse 2, 8 bars of the groove. The crash cymbal does occur halfway through that line, so look out for that in bar 5. Pre-chorus 2, same as pre-chorus 1, 4 bars, 2 crash cymbals. Chorus 2, exactly the same as chorus 1. You might see a pattern occurring here. And then the guitar solo 1, we do get some interesting changes here. And if you listen carefully, you can hear that the toms were overdubbed. Not all the toms. I believe the stuff is probably played by Jim during the recording session with the main drum beat. But then we get these toms being overdubbed. So our first example of this and how I would play it or replicate it, because the hi-hat and snare and the hi-hat is still going on underneath it, so it's definitely overdubbed. Starting on bar 4 on the and a beat 2, it's an interesting place to start it. 1 and 2, then come up to your high tom. I believe just Jim uses just the 2 toms on this recording, and we get and 3 and it's building up in volume, the crescendo underneath it, and 3 and then it ends with 4 and. So our right hand is going to go and 3 and 4 and down the toms like that, but the snare drum backbeat, I think is the most important bit here, still plays on beat 4. So we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Underneath that, the bass drum is still being played on beat 3. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It does go into a crash that time. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. So create a 2 bar loop. This is how I always recommend people practice this stuff. Don't just play the 1 bar with the drum fill in. Make a little section loop for yourself. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice that slight increase in volume there. By about beat 4, we're up to full volume. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The cool idea there, and 3 and 4 and, using the toms around the snare drum backbeats. We then get the crash afterwards for bar 5, and then the guitar solo section ends on bar 7, not bar 8, with just the 1 crash cymbal on beat 1. Very simple. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And by the way, I didn't mention it earlier on. I've got the full PDF you can download from my website for free. All pages, all bars, all sections of the song transcribed for you. So you can have this printed out in front of you as we go through this together. Hopefully that's going to make things a lot easier for you to understand. I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the lesson though. So that guitar solo ends a little bit early on bar 7. And then we get the synth coming back in again. 4 bars of synth on its own. And then it's the same as the intro. We just come in with those stabs again. But before I do, let me just play for you chorus 2 and the guitar solo 1, so we can hear those 2 different sections played together. Here we go. So as I mentioned, halfway through the synth bridge, we get those crash cymbal stabs coming in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But just, it's just half a length this time. The last bar, slightly different drum fill. 1 and 2 and. Now it sounds like he's playing the 2 toms together. 3 and 4 and. So you could play 3 and 4 and, but I think to give it a bit more meat, play 3 and 4 and. So both toms together, 3 and we're building up in volume again, 3 and 4 and. Duh, 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 duh. So we get 1 from half, the last 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and get ready with the and 3. We're straight into the tom afterwards. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Again, you could play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you wanted to, but I think give it more meat as we sort of hear on the recording. It's kind of hard to hear whether he's playing 2 toms at the same time, but it sounds like it's multiple toms. So on to the second page, verse 2, 8 bars of the standard stuff, crash cymbal halfway through, pre-chorus 3, standard stuff for our other pre-choruses, chorus 3, same as our other choruses. Then the final guitar solo, the outro, we get 8 bars of this groove with the crash cymbal at the beginning, and then this other little drum fill at the end of the first line of the guitar solo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So again, building up in volume, 3 and 4. And I think he plays, you can hear the pitch of the tom. It's the high tom with the snare drum this time. It's not 4 and, but if you accidentally play that, don't worry, play that instead. But I think he plays 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we had starting on the and a beat 2 before. Now we have it starting on beat 3 with the bass drum. So some variations there. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. And that last meaty floor tom on the and of 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Yeah, into a crash on the next line. So the last 2 bars of that line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Oops. 1, 2, you can play that, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. That was the variation that time. Second to last line, halfway through we get 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Same drum fill as we had earlier on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. On it goes, the last line, we get a crash cymbal halfway through the last line, but notice how the song ends a little bit earlier again. It ends in bar 7, the last bar of the line. Sort of the drums kind of just sort of peter out. I'm not a big fan of this ending. It sounds a bit weak, but I like the way the music cuts out just to reveal the drums. But as we can see, that very last bar, we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the point I'm making is the crash cymbal then comes in on the and a beat 4, but without the bass drum, it sounds a bit weak. 4 and. Anytime you play a crash on its own, especially for the last stab of the song, and it's without the bass drum, always sounds a bit weak to me. So on the recording, excuse me, sorry about that. Last 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and. Offbeat on the and a beat 4 there. If I was playing it, I'd play it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'd give a meaty flam on the snare drum on beat 4, 2 crash cymbals, and with the bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and or flammed through the floor tom and snare drum. But on the recording, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's so hard not to play the bass drum with the crash cymbal there. So finally, let me show you what I mean without the mic on. I'll play the last line of the guitar solo. Here we go. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you've got any questions, feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. Don't forget to download both pages of the free PDF from my website. You'll find the link beneath this video. And until our next free drum lesson together, toodle pip, and happy drumming to you. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. And you can watch my other free drum lessons by clicking the links on the screen now. Alternatively, if you want to learn how to play literally hundreds of famous and popular songs in full, from start to finish, and including the fully transcribed sheet music, then check out my website drumstheword.com for further details. Thanks for watching.